Did you know? The Japanese title for the EarthBound series Mother was inspired by a song of the same name by John Lennon. The lyrics of Mother deal with Lennon's experiences of growing up without a father. EarthBound creator Shigesato Itoi chose this name for his project because his own father was absent through much of his life. This theme is addressed in the first two Mother games, in which the main protagonist's father is never seen and only makes an appearance as a voice on a telephone. Itoi also felt the title of Mother was especially fitting, as this game series is more feminine than other RPGs. The EarthBound series is famous for combining colorful graphics and silly dialogue with dark and sometimes depressing themes. These themes have roots in the work of some of Itoi's favorite authors, including Stephen King and Kurt Vonnegut. Both are known for science fiction and satire, respectively. EarthBound's strange alien creatures, referred to as Mr. Saturn, were inspired by Kurt Vonnegut's Tralfamadorians, a species of silly-looking, benign aliens that appears in Kurt Vonnegut's novels. In the game, the speech of Mr. Saturn is represented by unusual font in both the Japanese and English versions. The Japanese font was designed by Itoi himself and was based on his daughter's handwriting at the time. According to Mr. Itoi, the Mr. Saturn race are the symbolism for innocence in the game. Before creating EarthBound, Itoi had worked for Nintendo as a copywriter, designing catchy taglines for their games. He had also done similar work for the prominent Japanese animation company Studio Ghibli. He also voiced the father in My Neighbor Totoro and became a minor celebrity by the time he began to work on video games. While Itoi initially proposed Mother to Shigeru Miyamoto, Miyamoto's reactions reportedly made Itoi cry. In 2008, Itoi posted on his blog, "In my mind, I hope Mr. Miyamoto, who I was meeting with for the very first time, would read it and say, 'Wow, this is great,' but instead after reading it, he said, 'I see. We'd need to put this in game form first.'" It is often speculated that Miyamoto's hesitation was due to Nintendo's history of greenlighting low-quality Famicom games simply because they involve celebrity figures. However, Nintendo president Hiroshi Yamauchi was a big fan of Itoi's work within the company, and Mother was approved for production. Miyamoto's opinion changed after the release of the game, and he later admitted in an interview that Mother was the first RPG he ever completed on his own, and that he even restarted from the beginning after losing his save file. It's become known that a fully translated and localized version of the first Mother game was produced by Nintendo of America, but it was cancelled before its release. In July 1998, a group of fans found a prototype cartridge of the English version of Mother and circulated the game's ROM online. Many fans were surprised to learn how much had been changed between the Japanese and American versions of the game. This included additional configuration menus, detailed enemy descriptions, new and redesigned areas in the map, and added run ability. Some of these changes were added by the request of Nintendo of America's EarthBound producer and scriptwriter, Phil Sandhop. Sandhop stated that there were plans to release the game with an enhanced 80-page instruction manual, and even a separate release of the game's soundtrack. The game was ultimately cancelled because in addition to the cost of all the extra materials, the cartridge itself was too expensive due to the size and scope of the game. It required extra memory and a battery for saving, which made it too costly to produce and market at the time. This was partly due to Nintendo of America preparing for the launch of the Super Nintendo. Prior to the cancellation, several magazines had printed small previews of the NES release of Mother, already renamed EarthBound. It's not known why Nintendo of America renamed the game, and Nintendo has never officially commented on the matter. It's possible the game wasn't originally planned to be renamed at all. Listings in the United States Patent and Trademark Offices showed Nintendo of America first trademarking the name Mother November of 1989. The name EarthBound wasn't registered until August 1990. Interestingly enough, the name Spacebound was also registered. It's possible the name went unused in order to not mislead the players into thinking the game featured space travel or combat. Despite the fact that the first game in the EarthBound series was never released outside of Japan, the process of working on the localization was an important turning point in Nintendo's history. In an interview with LostLevels.org, Phil Sandhop explained that the Mother project and localizing it really opened up a few eyes at Nintendo. They began working closer with Nintendo of America and other subsidiaries to produce artwork for games that would be appropriately received anywhere in the world and not need localization. Nintendo of Japan would typically work on a game even after it was released in their region in order to conform with Nintendo of America's strict guidelines for age-appropriate content. Because of the large change in procedure in Japan, by the time EarthBound for the Super Nintendo was localized for other territories, much less work had to be done. However, there are still many interesting differences between EarthBound and Mother 2. In Mother 2, the text above various stores in the game reads drug. In EarthBound, most of this text was altered to spell shop instead. Early in the game, when Pokey and Picky get in trouble for being out so late, Mother 2 uses a sound effect that sounds as if their father is beating them. In EarthBound, the sound effect was changed to resemble loud yelling. The town of Forsyth has a bar in Mother 2, and the people inside the bar are found to be drinking alcohol. In EarthBound, this bar was changed to a cafe, and customers all refer to their drinks as coffee or espresso. Almost all religious references and cross shapes are removed from EarthBound. Even the red crosses on hospitals and nurse uniforms were removed despite not having anything to do with religion. They were actually removed due to Red Crosses being a copyrighted trademark by the Red Cross charity. Another alteration in the English translations is of the insane cultist enemies in Happy Happy Village. In Mother 2, the letters HH can be seen in their forehead of their masks. This was removed from EarthBound, and a pom-pom similar to Santa's hat was added to the tip of the pointy masks, presumably to distance the design from any resemblance to the Ku Klux Klan. In the segment of EarthBound where Ness enters his own subconscious, he can be seen wearing pajamas. In Mother 2, Ness is naked, wearing nothing but his hat. One of the most obvious differences between Mother 2 and EarthBound is the pencil statues that block access to certain areas of the game. Mother 2, the statues depict an octopus rather than a pencil. In an interview, Shigesato Itoi explained the reason for the octopus statues. He said that in times when the player doesn't know what to do and when he or she feels clogged in the head, it's as if an octopus is blocking the way. In Mother 2, the player is given the octopus eraser machine to destroy the obstacle. In EarthBound, the player receives the pencil eraser to clear the way. Another statue blocking a path in EarthBound is of a pencil eraser, which requires an eraser to clear off. In Mother 2, the statue depicts a limbless doll. The reason for this is a play on words. In Japanese, these dolls are called kokeshi. The word for eraser is keshi, so the item that clears the path is the kokeshi keshi. Not all changes between the two versions were cut content. In Mother 2, a sign can be found posted in the town of Threed by a parental organization which warns against playing video games for over 2 hours straight. In EarthBound, this organization was given the name Parents Opposing Obsession Plan, which is an acronym, spells out poop. No equivalent reference is known to exist in the original version. That's all for today, but don't forget to subscribe to Digino Gaming and follow Digino Gaming on Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you also check out diginogaming.com. If you'd like to watch part 2 of this video, just click the link in the description below. Also check out my channel, Chuggaaconroy. I do various videos, mostly Let's Play videos, of anything from Pokemon to Kid Icarus to Sonic to Okami, all kinds of things like that.